And I'll tell you if it's a test question or not. Let's go over this. Is 1.4, 55/14. 55/14. Okay, we went over one like this before. I'll go over it real quickly. It could be a test question. I don't usually do derivatives with the absolute value, but you know that this absolute value has a horizontal shift of 5 to the right and 6 up. Now, you should know that from your parent graphs, and I think we went over one of these last time, but I'm not sure. And this function is going that way, and this function is going this way. Because technically you have two lines and they corner, so you can't take the derivative at this point. So I'm going to put a red, I'm going to erase that point right there, and I'm going to put a red open arrow there, because technically you can't take the derivative at that point, because it's a corner. And we talked about that before. Okay, so I'm going to look at, now if you want to set this equal, and I'm just going to go to that route because I don't know what they're wanting here, but anytime you want to find the function, you set it equal to 0, and that's going to be 0 is equal to x minus 5 plus 6, that's the positive, and 0 is equal to negative x minus 5 plus 6. And I should have done that in green or blue or whatever. This one's in green because it's a negative slope. So let me write this in green. 0 is equal to negative x minus 5 plus 6. And that's going to be 0 is equal to negative x plus 5 plus 6. 0 is equal to negative x plus 11. And bring the x across the river. X is equal to 11. And that's going to be the y-intercept if that continued. If this continued, it would be out here. But what I'm showing you is how to find the positive and the negative of a absolute value. So I'm going to take the blue marker, and 0 is equal to positive x minus 5 plus 6. And that's going to give you 0 is equal to x minus 5 plus 6. 0 is equal to x plus 1. X is equal to 1. So if you was to extend this blue line, you would hit the x-intercept at 1. But that's how you find, whenever you want to find what the absolute value is equal to, you equal to the positive and the negative function. Okay? For what value is the function not differentiable? That's going to be at x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, comma 6 is the vertex, which is not differentiable. Okay? And g prime of 0, and they're telling you to find the, to find the differentiation of this function. And if you was to take that negative function, that negative x plus 5, what is the derivative? If you had f of x is equal to negative x plus 5, the derivative of negative x is what? Negative 1. And that's why you got two negative 1s there. And then if you take the derivative of the blue, f of x is equal to x plus 1. What's the derivative of x? 1. So that's why you got two negative 1s here and positive 1s here, because 0 hits the green line 1 hits what? The green line. And then 9, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hits the blue line. And 10 hits the blue line. So that's why you have to use the -1 for the first two and the +1 for the second two. A good homework question, but not really a good test question because it can be confusing. Okay? So that's that question. Let's see if it's a repeater. So that's 455. Let's see the next one, delete. 455, delete. 455, delete. Okay, 1.5, 111. Let's see if these are in order. No, they're not. So let me hit by subject. Let me go date and by subject. See if that does better. Nope, it's going in the opposite direction. Let me leave the 111 for later. Let's start with 29. I think it went crazy after 100. So this is 1.5, 29/6. All right, find the derivative. Find the derivative. Well, the first thing you're going to do is I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to rewrite it because some of you see this and you're like, what the hell does that mean? Okay, what that means is take the derivative of this. That's what it means. You could say f of x is equal to the 4th root of x minus 9 over x, and now find f prime of x. Okay? Or you could write it like this, and this says take the derivative of whatever's in the parentheses. That's what that means. So however you want to write it, you could say y is equal to 4th root of x minus 9 over x. And then y prime is equal to whatever. So don't let the way that they write it confuse you. Now, the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the actual function. Remember what I told you. A lot of times, calculus wants you to rewrite before you even start. So, I'm going to rewrite this. F of x is equal to x to the 1/4 minus 9x to the -1. Now, you can take the derivative of both of those terms. This is a test question. So what's 1/4 times 1? So that's 1/4 x to the 1/4 minus 4/4 minus a -1 x to the -1 minus 1. Now I'm writing everything out, and I do that until we get through with derivatives, and then we'll move on to antiderivatives. And so I'm writing everything out. 1/4 times 1 is 1/4. 1/4 minus 1 is 1/4 minus 4/4. -1 times 9 is -9. And -1 minus 1. Now, if you don't know how to do fractions and you don't know how to do negatives, that's not my problem. So 1/4 times x to the negative what? 3/4 plus 9x to the -2. Everybody with me? Now, 1 over 4x to the 3/4 plus 9 over x squared. Now that could be the answer. Or 1 over 4/4 root of x to the 3rd power plus 9 over x squared. Now that is a very good test question, and I would ask that one on a test. Why? Because you have to rewrite it, you have to use your order, you have to use your rules of exponents, and you have to use your rational exponents. I'm going to put a 3 here, so I want to see what they want to write it as. Okay, what did they do? Heck, they didn't even write it, they didn't even take it that far. They got x to the negative 3/4 over 4, which is right here, x to the negative 3/4 over 4, plus 9x to the negative 1, or negative 2. Golly, they don't even want you to finish it. They just want you to barely start it. So anyway, that's the answer. So I'll take either 3 of those answers, but that is not the answer most teachers would want. Make sure you make a note of that. Good test question. Y'all settle down, please. That's number 29. Let's see if there's a repeat. Yep. Mr. Marshall, you good with that?
Yes.
Okay. 46/9. 46/9. Oh yeah, good test question. Let's go ahead and blow it up a little bit. Can you see that, Jake?
Oh yeah.
Well, good. Jake will ride a short bus. If he can see it, everybody can see it. Right. I rode the short bus for 2 weeks. So they figured out nothing was wrong with me. My mother went up there and raised all kind of hell. All right, so what do you do first? Do you start with the derivative or do you rewrite? Well, let's see. There's nothing really to rewrite. So you just go ahead and start with the derivative. So here we go. Y is equal to 5x to the negative 3/2 plus 8x to the negative 1/2 plus x to the 4th minus 8x to the 0. Well, Hubert, what are you doing? Well, I know there's people in here that did not invent calculus, and there are people in here that suck at it. So if you're one of the people that suck at it, you need to make sure you fill in all the gaps. There's a 1 in front of that x to the 4th, and there's an x to the 0 beside that 8. And if you fill in the gaps, it's not going to be easy to suck at it because if you follow the power rule, you'll see that that 8x to the 0 drops off. And you'll see that that 4x, that x to the 4th, becomes 4x to the 3rd. Okay? So let's go ahead and work this problem. I'm going to write everything out for you. So negative 3/2 times 5 over 1 x to the negative 3/2 minus 2/2 plus negative 1/2 times 8 over 1 x to the negative 1/2 minus 2/2 plus 4 times 1 x to the 4 minus 1 minus 8 times 0 x to the 0 minus 1. All right, y'all finish it. Because that's all the calculus there is. There's no more calculus. See, Mr. Miyagi's done finished. You know why Mr. Miyagi's done finished? Huh?
Why?
Is it because I'm Asian?
Yeah. Well, he's got a sense of humor. You got to give that to him. Actually, he was still writing when I said that. I just did it just to see if he was awake.
Yeah, I can fall asleep with my eyes closed, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah, I can.
No joke. I thought a Chinese joke was coming. I was like, uh-oh.
No, like, yeah, I could have said I had, like, slants for eyes.
If you notice, I do not say that. I let him say it. Because if I say it, oh my God. Remember, I'm part of the Antichrist.
You would have said it. I would have
Yeah, you are too, so you can't say anything either. So,
Well, if you were going to say that joke, I was going right to your boss.
okay, thank you. But she wouldn't believe you. You know why? Because you're a white male, so you suck. So,
I think that's racist too.
it is. Can a person be racist upon themselves? That's kind of like protesting the symbol that gives you the right to protest, isn't it?
Like a black guy who's colorblind member of KK.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's his name? Chappelle, didn't he do that?
I think he did.
Or I think he did something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a blind KKK member.
Yeah, exactly. He did that act. So I wonder if he's racist to himself. Can you be racist to yourself like you could protest a flag that gives you the right to protest, a symbol of the thing that gives you the right to protest? Yeah. All right, here we go. But you didn't protest it the last 10 years. You just protested it at a certain time. Yeah, exactly. All right, so negative 3 times 5 is what? Negative 15, Hubert, over 2, x to the negative 5 halves. Plus, be minus 8 over 2, x to the negative 3 halves. Plus 4, x to the third. And what happens, I'm going to write this in red, minus 0 times x to the negative 1. Because that goes what? It goes out. So now you just have to clean up the rest of it. Yeah, that technology, they were going to show how to do this and do this. They only had an hour. Welcome to my world, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They only had an hour. And they said, okay, we're going to learn this. And they turned the projector on. How do you turn that thing on? Yeah, and what do you do if it comes up and it gives you that message? And what do you do if they spent 15 minutes on turning the projector on? Those two people were pulling their hair out by the end of that session. I could have told them that's what was going to happen. But nobody asked me nothing. No call.
So why'd you even go?
Because we are forced to go. It's called mandatory. And when stuff is mandatory, it's usually stupid stuff. Always remember that.
But isn't that like a good thing? You get paid to watch a bunch of stupid people.
Do you know how awful it is to watch something like that? It's very painful. Very, very painful. I mean, you'll know, like when Jake tries to be funny, it's very painful to watch. But Jake, the mullet is coming back, and you started that.
You dang right. I was fired up.
He had a mullet last semester. All right, so here we go.
And I'm growing it back out now.
15 over 2x to the 5 halves. And this is going to be negative 4 over x to the 3 halves plus 4x cubed. And I would take that one step further, and negative 15 over 2 square root of x to the 5th, oh my gosh, we can go even further, minus 4 over the square root of x to the 3rd plus 4x cubed, and that's going to be negative 15 over 2, and that's going to be the square root of x to the 4th is x squared, so that's going to be 2x squared, the square root of x, minus 4 over the square root of x squared is x, so that's going to be x times the square root of x plus 4x cubed. Now there's 3 possible answers here. The two that I just did are probably the most popular answers among teachers. But I'm going to go ahead and, I hate to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to circle these 2 in yellow. Mathematically, those are not the most simple answers, but with this book, probably going to take one of them. I don't know. Now, again, where's the calculus?
Beginning.
Calculus is in the first step. The rest of it's algebra. So if you're kind of rusty in the yellow and the black part right here, that's not calculus. That doesn't have a thing to do with calculus. That means you suck at algebra. All right, see what they got. Negative 15x minus 5 halves. They got this part right here. So I'll highlight this for y'all because that's the answer. I kind of figured they would pick one of these 2. Oh, thank you for your sound effects. That's so needed in a math class. I don't know. Okay, so you got it? Good test question. Because it's got a lot of algebra in it. And y'all suck at that.
What do we answer on the test?
Answer any one, but this is the one they're gonna want. They're gonna want that first one right there. If you answer the other ones, I will take it, but then again, do you want to stay after class versus using this one right here? That's why I'm highlighting it and showing you which one you should use. But I will take the other 3 on a test. I just don't want to have to correct 30 people, okay? So please try to use, which one I'm showing you. That's why you need to write it in your notes for those that are writing. Next one, and that's number 46. So let's see if there's any repeats. Yep. Does that help? Okay. 52/12. Another test question. Not very difficult, but the way it's written, you probably sit there and go, I don't know what to do. Just write down the y is equal to, write down this part. Forget the rest of it for right now. I want you to write that down. I want you to rewrite it and find the derivative.
This is the one where it won't let me try again because I've already used my 2 tries.
Well, then you're just SOL, buddy.
Yeah, I see.
And that's what I want. I want you to get them wrong, so therefore I can drop you in the future. Oh, and that's the other thing. You go to these faculty staff development things, half of it is worthless, and the other half is sitting around listening to teachers bitch about y'all. And that's one of the reasons I left at 12 o'clock. I mean, if you hate your job that much, quit. Do something else.
It's like journalists.
Y is equal to 1 over x to the 6th. Y is equal to x to the negative 6th. Y prime is equal to negative 6 times 1, x to the negative 6 minus 1, which is equal to negative 6, x to the negative 7, which is equal to negative 6 over x to the 7th power. Now, have you noticed how I did that problem? I did it step by step. I showed all the steps. That's for the people that suck at this.
Appreciate it.
Okay? For those that invented it, you don't need that. But don't cry when you get a careless mistake on the test and you get it wrong. Now, take that -2 and do what with it? Plug and what? Plug and chug. So -6 over -2 raised to the 7th power. And that's going to give you, I'll do the top for you, -6. There you go. Well, I know that 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2, that's 32. To the 5th power is 32, 64, 128. So somebody check me, I think 2 to the 7th power is -128, but somebody check me.
It is.
Of course it is. Anyway, what's a negative divided by a negative?
Positive.
Positive, so that's equal to 6 over 128, and divide by 2, 3 over 64, and you feel good about yourself. So you don't have to put smokestacks on your truck, Jake. And one day, you too will be confident enough to wear a pink shirt.
I'm pretty close today.
Okay, good. Yeah, that looks like salmon.
Oh yeah.
So you're moving that way. But you regress if you have on there Clemson is number 1 and everybody else sucks. If you have that kind of t-shirt on, then that's kind of regression.
Well, they are undefeated in baseball, so.
God. Do you know when they go to the bathroom and when they eat breakfast? And do you know their schedule also?
No, but finding their record's not that hard.
Let them know, Jake.
You're the same way with Georgia football.
No, I'm not. There is no freaking way. I have to look it up when they actually, what channel they're on and what time they come on. I can't tell you when they eat breakfast and what they ate for breakfast and, stuff that Clemson fanatics can do.
I can't do that either.
Oh, well, some of them can. All right, so let's see if that's a repeat. That's 52. 52. Does that help? Those that sent that one, does that help, or we want to do another one?
Helps.
I want to try to get as many as I can done. This is 58/13. I feel like I'm doing y'all's homework for y'all. That's all right.
We appreciate it.
Thank
All
you,
right,
sir.
forget what the directions say here. Write this down, find the derivative. Because what they're asking you is they're asking you to find the derivative. But most people don't know that because of the way it's written. I'm going to go over here and, I'm going to pull up the handy dandy calculator. I want you to pull up your calculators and I want you to graph this function. Y is equal to x cubed minus x. Oh, me. And graph. Everybody got that? And I'm just going to hit zoom, standard 6, or zoom fit. Which one's fit? There it is. Thank you. 0. There we go. All right, there's the function. And I'm just going to draw a rendition of, no, I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and find the derivative. F of x is equal to x to the 3rd minus x. f prime of x is equal to 3x squared minus what? 1. X to the 0. Okay? So that's a 1. Bring it out front. Bring that out front. Then you minus 1, minus 1. So, f prime of x, somebody tell me what that is. That is the equation, and we're going to write that out here. The equation for the tangent line at any point on a curve, on this curve. So at -1, if you plugged in -1 at that point, -1 is right here. So they're wanting you to find, and technically the equation for that line is 3x squared minus 1. Now, the question asked, let me go back to the question because I'm looking at the directions. It says, find an equation for the line that is tangent to the curve at y is equal, so I just found that. The equation is y is equal to, it's not y, technically it's supposed to be y prime if they're asking you to find the derivative. So I would say 3x squared minus 1. Something about this question I don't like. I don't like that they have y instead of y prime because they're asking for y prime. That bothers me. But I'm a math teacher. I guess it's supposed to bother me. I'm just going to put 3 in there. I don't know. What are they doing? Don't get 2x from, what are they doing here? I found the equation for that line. 6x squared minus 2. I got 3x squared minus 1. That's what you were asking for. What do you want now? Well, they want you to, oh my Lord. Okay, well, first of all, you can't put, okay, they're wanting you to plug in -1 and 0 into the y minus. Why are they wanting you to do this? Okay, so plug -1 and 0 into the original equation, and the slope at -1. What's the slope at -1? -1 comma, or -1 squared is 1. 3 minus 1 is what? 2. So the slope is equal to 2. Okay, I see what they're asking, but the question don't say that. What the question should say is find the derivative, then find the equation of the line. That's what it should say. Okay, so what they're asking you to do, here's the equation for the line, okay? That's the equation for the line. This is the point they're giving you. And they want you to find the slope at this point so you can plug it into the y minus y sub 1 equals m times whatever. So you find the derivative. Now you plug in -1. -1, 3 times -1 squared minus 1. -1 squared is 1 times 3 is 3. What's 3 minus 1? 2. So that's your what? That's your slope at this point. Everybody with me? That's the slope at that point. Now you take your algebra, regressing back to algebra, y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1, which they really did not do a good job in telling you to do this. Okay, so here's your x of 1, and here's your y sub 1. So x or y minus parentheses equals parentheses times x minus parentheses. And my y sub 1 is what? 0. My m is 2, and my negative 1, y minus 0 is equal to 2x, and then that's a positive 1. 2 times 1 is 2. And that is what they're asking for.
The way they phrase that.
It's totally 100% wrong. Okay? The way that they've got it written is they want you to take the derivative. But they don't tell you to regress back to algebra and plug in the slope that you found. Okay? So I don't agree with the question. I like what they did. I just don't agree with the way the question's worded. So whoever sent this question, you have 100% reason to send in this question because it is a confusing question. It was confusing for me. So, Jake, did you send in that question? Oh, was it you? Does that
I don't
help?
think so.
Yeah, and I bet you.
I was there when calculus was invented, so.
So I'm sorry, what?
I was there when calculus was invented, so.
Was you? Well,
Oh, yeah.
there's not many of y'all around. That's good. That's good, Jake. All right. So what you do here? This is when you see this question on the homework. Number 1, find the derivative. Then 2, plug in the x of 1 right here. Plug in x of 1 to get slope. 3. Now you have slope is equal to, in this case, it was 2, and you have negative 1 and 0 plug into y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x of 1. That might help you. So the question is not a good question. The material is good, but the question is not phrased right. Very confusing. Just as a coincidence, I bet you $1 to a donut hole that the next question is the same one. Nope, I was wrong. Thought there'd be 2. I was going to do the second one. But this is 60/14. Find the equation of the line tangent to the graph of, okay, that basically says find the derivative. So rewrite it, and then they want you to plug in, I assume they want you to do the same thing with each one of these. So this is not a test question. That first one would be a test. I'm not going to make you do it 3 times in one question. But for homework, this is a good question. So the first thing we're going to do is find the derivative. 1, derivative. So f of x is equal to x to the negative 4. Therefore, f prime of x is equal to negative 4 times 1, x to the negative 4 minus 1, which is equal to negative 4 x to the negative 5, or negative 4 over x to the 5th power. I hear an indicator outside. No, it's one of those sure people that cruise around the college parking lot with their music loud. Might as well hang a sign around the neck that says they have Napoleon complex. All right. Oh my gosh, I went to the grocery store and stopped by and got gas yesterday, and there was this dude in this 4-wheel drive truck. Okay, first of all, a 4-wheel drive truck is supposed to go in the mud and stuff. This thing was chromed out from the bottom of the tires to the top of the roof. Anyway, it had this stereo going on, and 2 or 3 people told him to turn it off. It's kind of those kind of things I just like to take a stick of dynamite and just throw it in the vehicle. I mean,
So you saw Pavement Princess?
So of course, when he got out, I didn't look under his hat, but he probably didn't have any hair, or he was short. He was pretty short. So we won't talk about those things. But anyway, just ridiculous. Jake, you don't have one of those, do you? You have like a Yugo, don't you?
No, I got a F-150, but I mean it's not lifted or nothing.
Is it like 15 feet in the air or what?
No, it's just stock.
Okay, good for you. You do not have a sign around your neck that says you have Napoleon complex. Okay, so now I'm going to plug in. You have to plug in each one. So I'm going to do number 1. Okay, so I'm going to plug in x of 1 is equal to 1. And that's going to give me negative 4 over negative, or is it 1 raised to the 5th power. I'll do the 1 to the 5th power for y'all. That'd be 1. Negative 4 over 1 is equal to what? And that is my slope. So now I do number 3. I got my slope is equal to negative 4. And my 1, comma 1 is my point. So now I do 4. Y minus parentheses is equal to parentheses times x minus parentheses. And I put a 1 here. That's my x. My y sub 1 is 1. My x sub 1 is 1. And my slope is negative 4. So that gives me y minus 1 is equal to negative 4 times x minus 1. Y minus 1 is equal to negative 4x plus 4. Y is equal to negative 4x. And what is 4 plus 1? All right, now y'all do B. I'll leave that on the board for you, and y'all do B. And this is a test question, but the material, I'm not going to ask you to do 3 for one question, but I may ask you to do 1. And of course, y'all will quit on B and C. Why?
Fractions.
It's got fractions, and y'all can't read a yardstick, much less do math with fractions. So y'all might as well just what?
Quit.
There you go. Because Bernie is going to take care of you. So you don't have to make good decisions throughout your life. Jake, did you watch the debate?
No. I ain't got time for that.
I heard it was a pretty good clown show.
It was hilarious.
Did you watch the race?
Yeah, I did. Thought it was a pretty good race. I didn't have any complaints about it. I think they over dramatized, what's his name? He didn't even have a scratch on him. I mean, it was a horrendous wreck.
Yeah, that Hans device saved his life.
Yeah. I wish that Hans device was around before Dale Earnhardt died. I don't think Dale Earnhardt would still be racing because of the way NASCAR turned into a pansy fest.
You an Earnhardt fan?
Yeah.
You like his son?
Yeah. But his son didn't really have any motivation. Think about it. Would you? If your name was Earnhardt, I mean, all he has to do is make money being a commentator. But I did like him, though. I think he had a medical condition that I think that nobody knows about, because I think he like pass out a couple of times, and I think that's why he retired. I think that he didn't want everybody to know what his medical condition was. I think that's why he retired. But I could be wrong. My goodness, one of our adjuncts passed away. I don't know him, Larry Federley, math teacher.
What happened?
I think I must have had, yeah, I think he had some medical conditions. I really don't know, because he was fairly new, and he taught at the Pendleton campus, I think, but I don't know much about it. Okay. So y'all quit yet? All right, well, I'm going to put some baby steps in here because some of y'all quit on me. So let me, okay, we know that the derivative is, where is it? Oh, it's up here. -4 over x to the 5th. So you need to write that down. -4 over x to the 5th. I'm going to put that up here. -4 over x to the 5th. Okay? So I'm going to plug in my -3. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. M is equal to, and I'm going to say M sub b. So we're going to do b now. -4 over -3 to the 5th power, which is equal to -4 over, well, 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 81. 81 times 3 is 243. 243 times 3, what is it?
Sure, it's just 243.
Oh, is it 243? Okay. -243. What is a negative over a negative? Positive. So we got 4 over 243. Can somebody see? I don't know. I think that's it, isn't it? I don't think that'll reduce. So, of course, now we're going to quit because we got 2 fractions now. So we might as well just give up. Y minus 1 over 81 is equal to 4 over 243 times x minus a -3. Y minus 181 is equal to 4 over 243 x plus 4 over 243 times 3 over 1. Because what do those two negatives turn into? Those two negatives turn into a positive. That's why I put those parentheses there. Of course, some of y'all don't need parentheses because, you know, y'all don't have 3.5 degrees or 3 3/4 degrees, but y'all don't need parentheses. Okay? So, y minus 1 over 81 is equal to 4 over 243 x. I think that 3 will go into that 243, so I'm going to kind of condense this down a little bit. And I bet it's going to be 81. It's a miracle. 3 will go in there, 3 will go in there 81 times. And now we're going to bring that negative 1 over 81 across the river. And that's going to be 1 over 81 there. And our final answer, oh shoot, was I supposed to use a calculator? Y is equal to 4 over 243 x plus 5 over 81. I'm sorry, I was supposed to depend on a calculator there. All right, y'all do the third one. C. Meanwhile, I'll punch in 3 and see if I got the answers right on the first 2. Y'all should feel good about yourselves. God, they don't even want you to finish the dang problem. They must think y'all are stupid. I'm serious. I mean, they don't even want you to finish the problem.
I'll take that.
I hate when these books dummy everything down.
Well, I put your answers in, and it said they were right.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm typing them in right now. See, they don't finish them. They carry it to the second to the last step. Like I said,
Well,
evidently they don't think y'all can finish it.
Well, the finished answers are right, too.
Okay, so they take both? Well, good.
Yeah.
That might answer some of y'all's questions on what to type in. They shouldn't take this one. That's not finished. That's half-ass finished.
Are you saying to discriminate?
What?
Are you saying to discriminate?
Yeah, they discriminate. They think all y'all are stupid.
That's impossible.
I mean, Disney World's racist and movie theaters are racist.
That was Disney
All
World
their
racist.
doors are racist. What?
That was Disney World racist.
Yeah, Disney World. What do they have around Disney World?
White people?
What happens to you if you go into Disney World? What happens to you, Jake, if you go into Disney World without paying?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get arrested
Well, they're racist.
or asked to leave.
That's
They
not
should just let
racist.
you
I mean, I
in
might
for
get
free,
searched 3 times, but
They should just let you in. Same thing with your house. You don't lock your door at your house, do you?
No, of course not.
Good. Just let anybody come in there.
Do you lock your door?
Yeah, I'm a racist terrorist, remember? I'm a member of the NRA and a veteran. So I'm a white male, so I might as well just kill myself. All right, y'all ready?
I'm coming home for supper.
What is it? Is it x? Y'all got to tell me 4 over x to the negative 5th, or what is
It's
it?
just -4 over x.
Negative 4 over x to the 5th. Is that it? So negative 4 over 2 to the 5th. I got this one. What is it? 32?
Yep.
Negative 4 over 32. Oh, wait a minute now. That's negative 1/8. I tell you what, dang old calculator. Now plug and chug. Y minus parentheses is equal to parentheses times x minus parentheses. And I put a 2 right here. I put a 1/16 right here. And I put a negative 1/8 right here. Y minus 1/16 is equal to negative 1/8 x plus 2/8. Y is equal to negative 1/8 x plus 2/8. And what happens when I bring that negative 1/16 over here? Comes a positive 1/16. And what do we have to add fractions?
Common denominators.
Common denominator. So I'm going to change this 8 into a 16. 8 will go into 16 2 times. 2 times 2 is what? 4, Hubert. So y is equal to negative 1/8 x plus 5/16. Dang old wrench. Dang old 5/16. And you should feel good about yourself. Now that's a good homework problem. If you can do that homework problem, then you can handle anything as far as those type questions on my test if I give you one. But that first one we did, that question sucked. This one at least gives you a running start at it. It doesn't word you up. There's not too many words here. You know there's a derivative there. You know you've got a point here. You can find the slope. This one is a prime example of if they just don't say anything, you can figure out how to do the problem. Okay? We good? And hopefully you feel good about yourself. Jake, are you feeling better about yourself?
Oh yeah.
Good. So that's 60. That's 60. 76/18. 76/18. What does this one say? For the function, find the points on the graph for which the tangent line is horizontal. If none exist, state the fact. First of all, you need to graph this. First thing, graph it. So go ahead and graph it. Take your handy dandy calculators, all y'all on the calculator drill team. Y'all can twirl them things around your finger like a basketball. Go ahead and graph it. Jake, were you on the calculator drill team at Pickens?
Oh yeah. I was the team captain.
I figured you were. Future can't make changers of America. Let's see. Y is equal to parentheses 1 divided by 3, close parentheses, x to the third, second insert, x. Sounds like a Charlie Brown cartoon, doesn't it?
It's currently 10:50 a.m.
The world is going to end tomorrow. Buy bread and milk.
Are you ready for the snow?
Yeah, we're going to all die.
Did you get your
We
bread
haven't
and
had
milk?
first snowflake. But I will say this. It will be a mess tomorrow because the temperature is supposed to drop below 28 degrees tonight. So you know everything that's out there is going to turn to what?
Ice.
And ice in South Carolina is worse than snow because people can't even walk in South Carolina with ice on the ground, much less drive. So we're all doomed tomorrow.
But they still try to get milk and bread.
Oh yeah, you got to buy milk and bread.
5 minutes after it started snowing, like last week or whatever, Ingles was full and I wanted to kill myself on UScan.
What you should
And then the
have
credit
done,
card
pictures
machines
put on
all went
Facebook.
out, even worse.
Yep. 1 divided by 3, x to the third power minus 3x plus 2. And graph. Now, you might want to blow it up a little bit, but what they're asking you, they're trying to find where is constant. Because where is constant, you're going to have a horizontal line. So you might have to play with this a little bit, or we can, find out where the slope is equal to 0. So that's a good thing. So let's do that. We don't know. See this long area between -4 and +4? We have no clue what that graph looks like unless you zoom in on it 15 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use calculus to tell me where the slope is, and then I'm going to set that equal to 0. So let's do that. I think that's what this question is asking. So y is equal to 1/3 x to the third minus 3x plus 2 y prime is equal, I'm going to put a baby step in here for y'all, 3 times 1/3 x to the 3 minus 1 minus 3 times 1 x to the 1 minus 1 plus 0 times 2 times x to the 0 minus 1, because that right there is the x to the 0 power. So what happens to the 3's right here? They cancel, Hubert. That's right, class. And you're left with y prime is equal to x squared minus what? Three, Hubert. Thank you, class.
No problem.
So now, I'm going to set 0. My slope is equal to 0. I'm going to put 0 in for that right there. X squared minus 3. X squared is equal to 3. Take the square root of both sides. X is equal to positive or negative 1.7. I think the square root of 3 is 1.7, but y'all can check it on your calculator. So the slope at negative and positive 1.7, the slope is what? The slope is equal to 0. Now, I don't know what they want, but that doesn't look like a correct answer there because it doesn't have a red thing on it. It looks like you got part of it right, but I have no idea, so I'm just going to go in and punch. I'm just going to put a 3 in here. There it is.
That's nice.
What they did is they plugged in 1.7 for x and got the answer. There's positive square root of 3, and there's what? Negative square root of 3. And what they did, instead of, because y'all are not smart enough to use a calculator, they just plugged in square root of 3 into the original right here, and they just left it there. That is so ridiculous. So, in other words, y'all don't know how to take the square root of 3 in your calculator. Can you believe that? That's what they... have y'all ever seen an answer written like that before?
I have, but every time.
In other words, plug square root of 3 into the original equation to get your y. And why can't they do that? I don't know. Let's do it right quick so I can show you how to do it, because evidently they don't think y'all have enough sense to do it, because they want you to leave the answer written like this. Now honestly, y'all just came out, some of y'all just came out of high school, have y'all ever seen an answer written like that before? I don't think I have. So let's plug in, we'll just do the easy one first. Let's plug in the square root of 3 for x into this equation. 1/3 parentheses cubed minus 3 times parentheses plus 2. And I'm going to plug in, I'm going to do it in green. I know my thing went off a while ago, so just hold on. Square root of 3. Some of y'all are convulsing, I know. You'll be all right. And plug in, somebody plug in square root of 3, raise it to the 3rd power, then multiply it by 3, then minus 3 times 1.7 plus 2. Somebody give me the answer. Again? Okay, well somebody plug it in. Anderson decided to quit, so. Somebody plug in, what'd you get?
12.49.
Okay, I got a 12.5. Somebody give me what y'all got. Okay, they're already convulsing. I'm not going to get anything out of them. Somebody that's not convulsing, please punch it in the calculator, please. See if you get 12.5. Or you can write it like this. So, well, 3 times 1.7. 3 minus 1. I don't think it's going to be 12.5. We'll work on it next time. I'll leave it in the computer because I'm not going to get anything out of it. After my little alarm goes off, I'll shut down. Especially Pendleton. Pendleton's been out for about 2 minutes. So let me go ahead and stop the recording.
black
Okay,
ice
so y'all
over
should
there.
be working on, these are questions off of y'all should be working on product and am I going to have to put a date on it or y'all are working